All right, hi, it's Chris again with quick context on this day's watering effort to help halt the Garnet fire with strategic watering. This is watering number 5, day number 5, September 11th, 2025. And we actually do halt the fire today. You're going to see in this footage extraordinary cloud buildups again. This is extraordinary because Apple once again predicts full sun for the day, and Apple and AccuWeather say there's 0 chance of rain in the forecast. Yet by early to mid-afternoon, we've got clear rain clouds over the sites, even late morning, and I spend the day playing cat and mouse with those clouds. The fire reports that come out throughout the day, in the morning and in the evening, and the video town hall meetings, they say that the favorable weather conditions from the night before continued all the way through the night. Then they say that crews were able to operate today 100 feet inside the perimeter of the containment line, extinguishing stumps and hot spots and ash pits, mitigating hazard trees. So basically they're just dealing with smoldering at this point. They're going into the fire where they thought the fire would progress. They're going into that zone. They say there's no fire outside of the current footprint because they're able to go into the fire zone to work on the fire. There's no smoke on site. And after dark, when I wrap up, you'll see at the end of this footage, I say it's totally different. It's wet outside now. The air is wet, the ground is wet. There hasn't been rain, but the ecosystem is moist, everything that I touch. It's wet out there, I say. So this is the day that we got it. This is the day that I say in the footage, we're on the other side. We were able to bring, apparently, a ton of humid air into the region. The Garnet fire, the morning of September 11th, the night of September 10th, hits 88% humidity. That's way higher than what they had projected. They, I think, got it up to 63 or something like that percent for this day as of yesterday. So we're beating the forecasts on how good things can get day after day. First, we go from Sunday, major emergency, to Monday, where things suddenly radically improve. There's no real explanation for that. Tuesday, the game changes. Yesterday, it feels to me like we really flipped things over. And then today, it feels like we really got things. And you'll see that in this footage. There's really not much need for more explanation than that. I'd say that I'm 90% confident the fire's 90% extinguished at the end of the video, and that proves out to be true. So thank you for watching this footage. I hope you enjoy it, and there's more to come.
All right, good morning. It's 6:50 a.m. 0% chance of rain in the forecast. Still. Don't know why it went away, but these are the most substantial morning clouds we've had. Let me show you what I mean. Look at that. Real pillowy. So let's go. Never had this happen before. I got a little birdie friend up there trying to get cleaned off right in the middle. Oops. Not afraid of me at all. Not afraid of the water. I can't get the camera and everything at the same time, but he's in there. Been with me about 10 minutes. All right, it's 8:36 a.m. We're back in business. I was really discouraged. I'm not necessarily encouraged yet, but full sun in the forecast and full sun. That was in buckets. Full sun for sure when I started at 7 a.m. But yeah, you can see what that is. So I finished up the trickle buckets on these 2 large deciduous trees here. And I did the water in on these. Well, you can't really see them, but those 2 trunks straight in the middle that don't have as many leaves, but they're substantial trees. Yeah, did stimulation on most of the 2 trees here in the frame, but I just added 50 feet of hose so I can get down to this baby, which is really dry. The leaves are really small. And I'm just gonna spritz around that. I'm gonna water that. I'm going to finish the water in now that I have the length of hose on all sides of these trees. And we'll just see if we can continue Raincloud development and expand it and, you know, go from there. 8:50 a.m. It's really grown, but I wanted to take this moment to show that it's only here when you pan around. It's just blue, 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 and a little bit of white. And then here's my cloud. How about that? Here's where I'm watering. 8:56, it's still expanding. But the reason I turned the camera on is because I just want to mention this is where I've been watering. So what's most interesting to me is like, that's where the gray rainy clouds were pooling up big time yesterday. De nada today, and I'm watering over here, and we got that. Very close. 9:38, we've had the rain silence now for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. This big old gray thing is growing when I stimulate, receding when I leave it alone, and then we got blue, blue everywhere else. So I'll just keep trying to grow it. We'll see what happens. All right, it's 10:01. The heat's shifting a little bit. The rain clouds have gone downwind, I believe towards the fire areas. And I'm not doing a good job of showing that. It's easier to see in person. So anyway, the sun is back, but it's not as intense. We're starting to get a little bit of a transpiration-ish air again, and that's what we need. It's a big transpiration field. 10:10 a.m. It's coming back. (10:24 a.m. still here. Still morphing, still blocking out the sun, still kind of growing, spreading. And still unique. (10:41 a.m. Look at that. I just started the stimulation again. And now the whole system has come back together to block out the sun. But again, it's just not anywhere else. We don't really have much to build on. We're getting the dome. You can see the edges of it. But it's like when I stop running the hose, there's not enough moisture in the ecosystem to keep growing. So here's the simple truth. The way I look at this is basic, man. It's like the landscape is like your body. It wants to be hydrated. If you damage your body or dehydrate your body, as soon as you put moisture in it, your body is gonna go distribute that moisture the best it can to put you back in a good state. If you get up to a good hydration level, you'll get back to good health. Landscape's the exact same way. All the known science talks about how we shouldn't prune, we shouldn't cut, we shouldn't remove leaf litter. We should be adding moisture to the landscape. They don't say that, but that's the obvious next step. If everything was great before we started cutting, before we started clearing, before we started burning things to keep things from burning, then just put it back the way it was. Give it water, and it will do what it needs to do with the water so that it can thrive. This is just basic reality, y'all. You don't have to be a scientist or a genius to figure it out. The landscape wants to thrive. Every one of these living creatures is dying for water right now. And if we just had 3 more of me up here in the Sierra National Forest, I bet you we could knock the crap out of this fire within 2 more days. You know, what if we did 5,000 gallons a day across 12 sites? It would be done in 3 days. Because look at this, I'm one man. I do about 1,000 gallons a day right now. We basically helped knock the fire out because the relative humidity went from 40 to 74 in 2 days of me watering here, maybe 3 days. But the first day moved really slow. So anyway, water trees and forests, please. And I'll get a great haircut. We need to rehydrate the landscape. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. Rehydration. Rehydration. Put the water on the soil, put the water on the biggest trees, slowly, and watch what happens. It's 10:50 a.m. I'm standing a little further back from the trees that I'm watering. They're over here, but look how big it is now. So it's starting to take up sort of a quarter of the sky, the quarter that I'm in. And then it, you know, it's gone. Look at that, it's coming back. (11:59 a.m. It went away for a bit, but I got it, or it came back. One or the both. And you can see pockets of blue, but mostly it's expanding. We've also got, for the first time, haze, like transpiration haze. It's supposed to be full sun all day today. Look at that. So not only are we blocking up the sun, bringing in big rain cloud over the watering, but we've got the transpiration kicking, I think. And we'll see where this goes. And it's still kind of lining as sort of a front, maybe. I mean, the roly-poly clouds, the pillowy clouds. And that is in the direction of the Garden of Giants and the fire that's remaining. So let's just hope those rain clouds head that way and drop. It's 12:47 p.m. and I should have filmed right before I did the stimulation. It's not showing up as well on camera, but that's the strongest looking rain cloud in terms of diffusion, amount to fall, all that stuff we've seen. And just a few minutes ago, it's like it was all fading. So then I do 10 minutes of stimulation. And there it is again. And meanwhile, the sun is not under its umbrella right now. But wow, lots of activity. So then zooming out, there's the sun. And we got breeze back again, just blue everywhere except downwind of my watering. And that little gray right there. Trying to block out the sun, I think. So calm and cool over there. That really looks like it could turn. Excuse me, that really looks like it could turn, but too much coconut. But we have to wait and see because it ain't turned yet, has it? And you know, the sky is really not turning into rain. Still, it just is inching closer. But it's 0% in the Apple and the AccuWeather chance of rain today, which is really rare. One of them usually says something. So I'll be amazed if rain falls. Meanwhile, look at that dark and golden it's starting to be, and yeah, we're getting in good shape. All right, it's 1:43 p.m. and it feels like conversion might be starting. Looks like it too. Not very much blue sky now. It's still there, but lots of clouds. All right, 2:11 p.m. Me and Brownie are hanging out here, and it wants to convert. And by that I mean the sky. It's so much in process. My assumption is, because earlier we were looking at, I was watering down here. All morning we were looking at just a big rain cloud. We were looking at a big rain cloud right here, and you can still see that shape kind of. And then we were watching it spread a little bit this way and that way. You can still see blue. But, you know, the sky was basically blue everywhere except that cloud. Now it's basically rain clouds. I think. I mean, from where I'm standing, that's what it looks like. I'm going to go look from another place. So you got holes in the dome, but man, you got serious rain potential too. And so it could very well be the reason it's not converting to rain is because of the, it looks like I have a comb over. Because of the low temperature. It's only 71. And, you know, feels like 68 and all that. It could be because the ecosystem at grand scale is so damn dehydrated, it's insane. I mean, look at this. And, you know, people that live here are like, well, it's drought season, but it's been drought season all year since about 2016, as far as I know. It's just, you know, not good. Too much of a bad thing. So anyway, I don't think we're getting rain, but man, is it close. You know, we just need some other element. I don't know what it is. You know, could be if we had two more people like me, one more person like me watering, if I had another location further away, because I'm still on the same property. And what works really well is to have a little mileage between your watering sites. And then you build up one grove of 10 to 12 trees and another grove of 10 to 12 trees. But what I can tell you, large trees, what I can tell you is we're now, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trees-ish here. And then the other side, we've done, you know, easily 8, probably more like 12. And when I got through with the 6th or 7th tree here, that's when we started seeing this shift start to take hold. So I'm going to take a short break just to check in with everybody and come back and finish the watering on that tree and then do 2 more trees here. And that may be the whole day. I doubt it though. I'll probably water tonight. I see one over there I can do 2. So I might get, you know, 1.5 more watering sessions in today. And then not sure what I'll do tomorrow. Depends on what the weather does. But anyway, the fire has, you know, if it's getting any of this air, it's not going to be able to travel. That's for sure. So, I mean, in my experience, my limited experience. But I can't remember if I've said this yet or not. The fire reports, written and televised, were basically saying, you know, the only real fire, and that I could have misunderstood, but the only real active fire is minimal, or what do they call it, moderate to low fire behavior in the Grove of the Giants. And then it sounded like everything else had hit what they call moisture extinction yesterday, which I knew that happened. I was dancing in the trees yesterday because I could tell we had flipped something. So moisture extinction means the fire can't travel through the grass, through the litter, all that stuff. There's too much moisture in the air for the fire to continue to move over dry brush. So, I mean, that's, you know, that's the first priority, is shutting it down with FMC, forced moisture circulation. It appears that's very much what happened. I'm sure we played a huge role in that. But I sure would love to see some rain, even though it's not rain season. It's drought season. All the factors are aligned against us right now. Cold air, not enough space between watering locations, not enough people watering because the system's so dry. But anyway, still love to see some rain. That'd be cool. I'm gonna try and also stay one more day here, do a full day of watering tomorrow too. And either way, we're leaving it in a better way than we found it. And that's my dad's motto. So glad to do that. Be back in a while. All right, well, it's been 21 minutes. I literally walked up the hill, changed out of my wet clothes, did some other things. 21 minutes later, it's like, shifting away. Starting to look more blue. It's about 2:45 p.m. 3 p.m. in Texas is a really good rain hour. Rain-making hour, Central Texas anyway. But really 1 to 3, 7 to noon are kind of transformational times. 7 to 11, I mean, are transformational. So, as I've said, I don't think we're getting rain today, but it's still real cool here. Like the air feels really moist. Well, not moist, but chilled by moisture. And it's the first time we've had a semblance of a dome that wraps over the property pretty much, except right overhead. It's all breaking up. Anyway, I just think, as I've said, we're moving on the right path. It's going to take longer than I want it to for all those earlier reasons, and I'm just amazed at how quickly it can come and go sometimes. But now it's back to gray light, so we'll take a break, see what happens, be back in about an hour. 2:48, I'm at the top of the hill, 2:48. You can see, got a conversation going between the landscape and the atmosphere. So, I don't know, we'll see what the future brings. All right, it's 4:03, and man, things are really good. There's a 10 to 15% chance of rain over the fire tonight. The moisture is in the landscape for sure now. You can just tell, just feel it. Everything is soft, starting to be soft. And the gray clouds are part of the scene. We can't get them to leave now, which is how you want it, you know? So like, they don't look very gray in this angle, but they are, and that's west. The fire is this away, and I'll just show you later. There's a bit of gray there and everything. So let me try this angle one more time. It's weird, they don't look gray. Now they look gray. See, they're like part of a system. And I was hoping this would happen yesterday, but I'm sure happy to see it today. Feeling pretty good, pretty good. So I'm gonna try to do one more watering. I'm gonna go, where am I? I'm gonna go to that tree, right there, by the pump house. After I finish the watering on the two trees further down. And then I think there's maybe this tree right over here. Where is it? There. Those will be the next two projects. It's hard to tell. When you move around on this landscape, the tree dimension situation kind of changes. But look, here's another angle. Now looking kind of, I believe, north. Let me check. Yeah, that's north, slightly west. This is due north. So that stripe is really, really meaningful also. That's just more good progress. So, all right, let me get started. And away we go. Real quick for my records, this tree got about rounded up to 200, this tree rounded up to 200, that tree rounded up to 250, the one in the back 150, but then if you factor in all the other spritzing and stuff I did, probably should add 100 gallons total, so we could call that 250 for the area, including that tree. What is that? Okay, it's 5 p.m. and just did finish up on the water end on the 2 trees at this far location, and that might have messed things up. The sky is opening back up, but it's also pretty gray and stuff. So I got one more round of trees to water and water in, and then I'm going to quit for the night. I feel like I may be interfering, but better to interfere and keep the humidity high than miss an opportunity, I think. So that's what we're doing. There's another cat. "5:20 p.m. I'm back to filling buckets, and we have, it's not showing really impressively here, but we have this over our heads, and then it breaks pretty dramatically. Down there where the fire is, though, who knows? So, just making a record of it. I don't really have any other things to say. Oh, I do. Look, that's a second Raincloud, and it's real fine and misty, so it's combining with this other giant thing over here. This is good. This color is a kind of a hurricane color, which I don't like, but it's also just moisture in the sky. We'll see. All right, hello, it's 10:15 on Thursday night. I was really hoping there'd be rain here by now, but for whatever reasons, it went out of the forecast completely for this local spot. Yesterday or the day before, and they were right. But I just wrapping up for the day, and took about, I don't know, a 2-hour break or something like that, and then just did a little more watering. The difference is, the important difference, there's 2 differences from all the other nights right now. The important difference is it's wet out there. I just did that little, I don't know, I filled like 12 buckets maybe for the final bit of the night, and it was wet down there. When the water came out of the hose, it didn't feel like it was just going into a dry, sandy
dusty void. Felt like the ground was starting to just be moist, and you could see it. It was just different. So that could have been an illusion because of the dark, but it seems to have shifted. Not converted, but this is some other thing where the ecosystem here has gone from being, you know, exceptionally, well, not exceptionally, but extremely dry and fire prone to now very moist here. And then the second thing, which probably parlays to that, is that while I didn't see any clouds just now, I did see a haze, excuse me, I'm tired, a mist in the night sky. That I have not seen here at all. The last 3 nights before tonight, I've been working on clouds, trying to get clouds and having pretty good luck. But this haze is, I think, part of that moisture increase. So that's exciting. That's like another step towards just a moisture of extinction situation where fire cannot spread, fire cannot grow, and if it starts, it's not going to do those two things. It's not going to get very far. Other than that, the fire reports today have been, they've said everything except fire is out. Basically, they've said minimal and smoldering and backing, and there's a few embers in trees, there's a few limbs burning and some of the sequoias apparently, but the fire has moved through the Garden of the Giants, and things are maybe way improved there. They didn't do a public meeting tonight on video, so I don't know verbal details, but the written reports to me imply that this fire is 90% out. And 2 days ago, we were in a dire situation with no hope. And, you know, there were 6 helicopters on the scene, and right now there's something like 50 bulldozers or 70 bulldozers, 3,000 people. It's a massive operation out there, but I think the necessity of cutting perimeter lines is about to kind of diminish. And so they say they're 15% contained, but they've actually cut a lot more of the line. They've cut close to probably 100 miles of their 156 mile perimeter. And, you know, I just hope that this thing disappears before they finish cutting all that forest up. I do also want to say that they're doing obviously a great job of making sure that the public is protected and the fire doesn't run into these towns. So, you know, may all that be good and true, and as soon as the fire's out, they stop cutting. They're doing watering. That's the last thing I should say. There's a picture of the grove of the sequoias with the 2,000 and 3,000-year-old trees, and it's a dude standing with a hose spraying the tree trunk, or spraying the tree roots. It's like, I know that guy. I don't spray the roots, but that's pretty close to what I do, and it's clearly the best way to hydrate trees, which is clearly the best way to keep fire off of trees. So maybe they're picking up on that, because, you know, between that, I think, and this, my effort to make a systemic shift, they're sitting pretty-ish. And the rain has crept closer than ever to the fire scene, to where, I think maybe it was closer yesterday for a moment, but anyway, pretty close to where we are. And today was the first day of a little speck of rain south of us towards the fire region, which could be a mistake by the satellites, but either way, it's something positive to see a little bit of moisture over the fire area. And they were relatively optimistic with their 10 to 15% chance of rain today and tonight. So maybe they are getting some kind of precipitation there. either way, everything has cooled way off. It's actually cold again tonight, and it's, like I say, it's moist as can be. And so the relative humidity is up super high. And yeah, I just think we're on the other side, clearly, of what was a catastrophic situation 2 days ago. The change happened for sure yesterday. I felt it in the morning when we hit that moisture of extinction threshold, which means that the moisture is strong enough that the fire won't spread on, my understanding of what the guy said anyway, is fire won't spread on grasses or leaf litter. And that's been their main concern, is burning grass. And then the third thing is embers. And so embers will have a harder time creating embers are not going to create spread also, is what they think and what they say. So, I mean, essentially the fire is, down to just smolder, is what it sounds like. I'm 90% sure that it's 90% out. And so I'm staying here an extra day. I want to finish up watering the grove here and wash my clothes, and then leave on Saturday and probably head to Oregon to try and help with the big fire up there, or to Idaho to help with the series of fires that are all connected to the sort of that region. And yeah, it's been going good. May that please continue. Would love to see some raindrops, but I don't think it's gonna, well, I don't know what I think. I'm just gonna keep working, and we'll see where we end up tomorrow night and Saturday. All right, thanks. See you soon.